Hi, I'm Braden Harris, and this is my final project for ECS 110. I had the wonderful opportunity to be able to take this course in my first semester. I was able to not only develop an understanding of the common rebuttals, myths, and issues that are occurring in society today, but as well as identifying myself. I have decided to use Maslow's hierarchy of needs as a way to deliver my final project, as well as a visual to show what I have learned throughout the duration of this course. The Maslow's hierarchy of needs is a pyramid that progresses throughout the 5 stages. The bottom of the pyramid represents our basic needs, identifying ourselves and what we need to understand the content of this class. The second stage, beginning to understand, to me, this would be engaging with critical and social justice, and the second stage can only be fulfilled once the first step is completed. The third stage is a need to belong. This is where we learned about white privilege, classism, and what it means to be Canadian. The fourth step is a sense of achievement, gaining respect, racism, and disability. The final stage is self-actualization, wanting a sense of morality and reaching our full potential. This is where we begin to realize how we are going to transfer this into our daily lives. The first step of the Maslow's hierarchy of needs is the basic needs. As I began my journey towards becoming a teacher, I knew that's what I wanted to do and what I was passionate about, but I also had no clue what I was getting myself into. When I thought about what teaching was going to be like, I thought it would be easy. Everyone I teach will be roughly the same age, therefore everyone will be equal. But as I walked into this class, I soon found out that wasn't the case. The second stage of Maslow's hierarchy of needs is beginning to understand, where we begin to engage with critical social justice. After the first ECS 110 class, I had realized that there was a lot more issues in society than what I had imagined. I was shocked. Growing up in small town rural Saskatchewan, these issues never really occurred. It is said in one of our first class readings that Canadians in fact do not have a common history and no single narrative will ever make it so. The issues that were brought up in class were awkward and uncomfortable topics at times. Beginning to identify common rebuttals and myths in society was no easy task at the beginning, but after weeks of practice, it shortly became easier. A piece from Chapter 2 of our textbook taught me that knowledge is dependent on cultural values, beliefs, and social positions. The third step on Maslow's hierarchy of needs is a need to belong, where we learned about what it means to be Canadian, classism, and white privilege. As we continued throughout this course, we learned about classism, white privilege, and what it means to be Canadian. Learning about what it means to be Canadian taught me a lot more than just all Canadians are great people and that all Canadians are farmers. It taught me that Canadian history is often generalized, but we are all Canadians and we typically all have a different history. Learning about classism allowed me to see where I identify myself in society, as well as gain knowledge about the lower class, mainstream, and upper class. When we learned about white privilege, I was able to see how unfamiliar I was with the minorities in society and how white people are so dominant in society. The fourth piece of Maslow's hierarchy of needs is a sense of achievement. The second final piece of this pyramid to me is racism and disability. The purpose of the fourth piece of this pyramid is gaining respect. The courageous conversations under the topic race allowed me to understand what race is, how we define racism, and why it matters. Being a privileged member in society, I was unaware of all the problems that minorities face. I was able to learn that all humans are equal, and color leaves no separation between people. By learning about disability, I was able to shift my thinking around the idea of disability. The reading response for this topic allowed me to rethink the idea of being able, shifting our views of disability to dishuman. People of different races or people with disabilities are all humans, and these topics throughout the course allowed me to gain more in-depth knowledge. The final piece of Maslow's hierarchy of needs is self-actualization. The final piece of this pyramid allows me to explain my full potential. After being in this course, I am now able to shift my thinking around these issues and take a stand in society. Little by little, we are all able to make a difference. I am now able to teach my close family and friends the proper understanding of these issues and make the world a better place.